My next guest, he starred in one of our best-loved comedies and was immortalised by Captain Mannering's unforgettable line, "Don't tell him, Pike." He's had a hand in other British TV institutions such as Yes Minister and EastEnders, and now he's hit the stage with a bunch of nuns in London's West End. Please welcome Ian Lavender. Welcome. Yes, that one. We saw your sisters earlier.
Yes,
and they're a lovely bunch.
May I sort one thing out already?
Yes.
You said star of Sister Act. I'm not the star of Sister Act. I'm merely the leading pensioner. Leading male pensioner.
Male pensioner, because there's Sheila Hancock in it there. And Julia Sutton.
Julia Sutton.
Lovely performer. I used to go and watch Julia Sutton in music hall.
Under the arches.
Under the arches, yes. The Players Theatre.
Oh, wonderful lady.
She's a lovely woman. Are you enjoying it? Because they
Immensely.
were a
I mean,
riot.
can you imagine? I mean, if you go into the theatre sort of going, oh, it's Monday, oh, hey, oh, and then suddenly you're hit with that for 2.5 hours, whether you're on stage with them or listening in the room. And, I mean, to say it's uplifting for an audience, I mean, you feel tired when you go home, but, hey, you've listened to Patina sing like that all night.
It's energising, I think. I had a friend who went there and said, we came away, she said it was just, our faces ached. It was so funny. So much laughing. No, literally from smiling.
Good.
You know, it's
clearly... what they were feeding them in the interval.
You see, comedy's obviously always going to be all right. There's one thing I've always been meaning to ask you. On the most famous line in Dad's Army, I just quoted it there, you know, with the German officer, and he asks for your name, and he says, and Mannering says, "Don't tell him, Pike." There's a cut to you, and you are doing your level best not to laugh. You failed there, Ian Lavender, didn't you?
Not totally. I failed after about 9 seconds, I think. I remember saying to David Croft in rehearsal, "David, please don't come to me for a reaction." And we've been rehearsing it for a week. You'd think, you know, you're not going to laugh at that, but Philip and Arthur made me laugh every time they did it. And the trouble is now people come to them and say your line. I didn't say anything. Oh, go on, say it. It doesn't quite work if I say it. And anyway, so I asked David, please, could you go somewhere else for a reaction? He said, tell me where else I can go. I can only come to you for a reaction. Well, at the end of it, as you say, I did come down the next scene, there was blood coming out of my mouth. I was biting the inside of the cheek, just at the end, and he cuts away just before I go, ow.
You were the youngest in the cast by far.
Oh, by far. And I'm the oldest in the cast by far.
How old were you when you started doing it?
22.
Gosh.
22 when I started. There, what a baby. Look. Oh,
bless
a
him.
child. I was cast because I was the only one who could carry the weight of the rifle, I think. That was all. Yes, I'd been out of drama school a year. And...
Had you any inkling what was going to happen with it? Or was it just, I've just been offered a sitcom?
It was 6 weeks telly. It meant I didn't have to go... I mean, in those days, you could sort of do... You could say, I think I'll take 6 months out of being in rep and I'll have a go at telly. Because there was just so much going on. I mean, there was a repertory system in television in those days. All the plays, all the armchair theatres, this theatre, that theatre, the Saturday night theatre, all the drama series. And if you didn't get 9 or 10 tellies, there was something wrong. You know, if you get 3 nowadays, you're doing very well.
When you look at that cast, though, they were all incredibly accomplished. I mean, Arthur Lowe, John Le Mesurier, you know, amazing. Arnold Ridney, who played Godfrey, was a playwright. He wrote Ghost
famously
Train.
described by John Laurie as failed writer, failed actor, failed film producer. He wrote The Ghost Train, as you were saying. Yeah. Sorry, yes.
Were they anything like the characters they were meant to be? Was Arthur Lowe like Captain Mannering? Was John Le Mesurier like Sergeant Wilson?
Yes. A slight detour before I actually come to the answer. We were all extensions of ourselves. You have to be in one direction or another if you're going to come back next year and pick up what you were doing 40 weeks ago. I mean, it wasn't 10 years non-stop. It was 10 seasons over 10 years. And so you've got to pick up. So you pick up on what you can do, what you can extend yourself. I like to think mine was a backward extension, you know, to total naivety. But essentially, yes, they were. Arthur was a pompous little man. There was no two ways about it. He was. And adorable at the same time, but he was a pompous little man. He got himself into a lot of trouble over it at times. But he'd do it to use it as a sort of buffer between him and the public, and it meant he could sort of go,
And John Le Mesurier always looked terribly sort of not quite sure where the next line was coming from.
I once witnessed John Le Mesurier in makeup persuade a young lady to undo his watch, wind it up, and put it back on his wrist.
You learned a lot there.
How on earth does that work, darling? Could you do it for me? Thank you so much. He could get anybody to do anything, and likewise John Laurie as well. Yes, they were. They were an absolute joy for me. It was like going back to sort of a summer school every year. It was wonderful.
Well, now that you've learned that from them, you can now become, you now are, one of the older men in Sister Act. Well, thanks as well as for talking about the new stuff, for being kind enough to talk about the old stuff as well. Good luck in Sister Act. It's on at the London Palladium and it's fab. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Lavender.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.